Hey everybody, this is Modern Refugee. I was in a antique store recently, and they had just a huge selection of old used cast iron pans, skillets, Dutch ovens, the whole nine yards. And it reminded me of something that my mother taught me, and that's something that she learned from the old timers. And she passed this information down to me when I was a teenager because I always liked to cook. And it's sort of the difference between a good piece and a bad piece of cast iron. And when I say good and bad, I mean not that it's just bad and junk and you can't use it. It's sort of ease of use. A good piece of cast iron has one particular trait that I'm going to show you here. And it's sort of older cast iron compared to newer cast iron. A good piece of cast iron, if you're going to like a garage sale or you're going to flea markets or antique stores or antique shops or whatever, and you're looking for a cast iron, you want cast iron that is smooth. And you can see here on this particular skillet of mine how smooth that piece of cast iron is. That is just like a pane of glass, it's so smooth. The older cast iron will be smooth on the bottom because they machined this out a little bit before they boxed it up and sold it or whatever. And the newer cast iron will be rough on the bottom, or real cheap cast iron will be rough on the bottom, just like a piece of sandpaper almost. And those pieces of cast iron will literally take forever to season and to become non-stick. Like this guy right here, this is good to go. This is the gold standard, basically. This is what you want your cast iron to look like. Now, I've got a piece here that was a cheaper piece of cast iron that I bought about 20 years ago, and it was it's my Dutch oven. I got a couple different Dutch ovens, and this is just a large, inexpensive Dutch oven at the time. And you can see on the bottom, even after 20 years of seasoning, you can see that that's rough on the bottom yet. Now, this guy is almost to the point where it's non-stick, but it took 20 years to get to that point because this guy was so rough on the bottom. And if you don't believe me, the next time you go into a Walmart or any other big box store, pick up a piece of cast iron in either the housewares or the camping department or whatever, and run your finger over the bottom of the pan. Run yourself over the actual cooking surface and see how rough that is. And then the next time you go to like an antique store or something like that, you pick up a piece of cast iron, compare the differences between the older and the newer. Like this particular place that I was just at here, they had some old like Wagner and Griswold and stuff like that was perfectly smooth on the bottom. And then they had some like the new stuff like the Pioneer Woman, and that Pioneer Woman stuff was just as rough as can be. So that's sort of how you tell the difference between good and bad cast iron. Now, the rough stuff, you can season it. The more you use it, the more it's going to season. It's going to fill in those cracks and bumps and that roughness. It'll eventually fill in with the seasoning, but it's going to take a long, long time. You're better off having something that looks like this right from the get-go. It's going to give you a lot better cooking experience over your campfire or just on your stove. Anyway, I wanted to share that little tip there, something that I learned from my mom and something that she learned from the old timers when you're picking out cast iron. And the best cast iron is the old stuff. Anyways, Modern Refugee, I appreciate all my subscribers out there. Hope you guys got a little information, a little entertainment out of this video as always, and you guys have a good one.